Hey there, welcome back to the golden age of DC Comics 365 days, where I take a page a day from this awesome coffee table book that I got years ago from a very good friend, and we're just going to talk about comic books for a couple of minutes. How's that sound? I like the sound of this. So, let's open the book to where we left off for today on January 12th. Today, we are talking about The Spectre. Ooh. Now, this was grim and macabre and unfortunate. And, geez, it's really you think about the character, you kind of think oh my goodness, how gruesome. Well, he's a cop. Jim Corrigan. Let's see. Well, first, the story was by Jerry Siegel. Art by Bernard Bailey. From More Fun Comics number 63, January of 1941. So, it was a rare superhero who was also employed in law enforcement. Most of them were vigilantes with their own ideas about administering justice. But Jim Corrigan started out as a cop, and in fact was a dead cop. Before he could be transformed into the Spectre, a supernatural being of awesome ability who appeared to be empowered by nothing less than divinity, the Spectre, seemingly designed to outclass even Superman, certainly exhibited an Old Testament wrath. Yes, so today is The Spectre. Yes, it was a murdered police officer and who was murdered on the job. And he basically comes back to revenge his death and to be, God's kind of agent of vengeance on Earth. Yeah, so it was spooky and macabre. And the Spectre is what an interesting character that's been perpetuated over the generations, and I think is pretty much active until today. And but yeah, that is today for January 12th in our 365 days in the golden age of DC Comics. And yeah, it reminds me of, I also got some Tales of the Crypt, which were horror comics, gruesome horror comics with macabre fates for devious people and victims and werewolves and vampires and zombies. And these too were comic books of the day. It wasn't just all superhero comics. So the Spectre is kind of a meeting of the two, of the pulpy detective comics, meets horror comics, and we're gonna put that now into a superhero. I mean, so it was cross genre, even for its day. You had detective gumshoe novels and movies, and you had the macabre. You had which was Tales of the Crypt and things like it. And then we're going to make this into a superhero story. Oh, okay, because you know what? They're a publisher. They're trying to sell comic books. And even to this day, that's what the publishers are doing. They're trying to follow trends. They're trying to find out what's hip, what's selling, and what will sell. And so the Spectre, it's just a really interesting cat. I mean, yeah, he's very morose, very angry too. And for a while, the Hal Jordan, the Silver Age Green Lantern, while he was dead, had to serve time in his own purgatory by being the new Spectre. Yeah, that's a mouthful, huh? All the knowledge it takes to be a comics book fan. But that's what we got for today in our DC Comics 365. We're spending in the Golden Age. The Golden Age was between 1935 and 1955, with the Silver Age beginning in 1956 and the Bronze Age beginning about 1974 or so. And yeah, so this is a great trip through comic books history, and it's art, it's sequential art, it's pop art, it's a window into the past. I'm sure we're going to run across different things, especially it was published during World War II most of this time. And also, we're going to come across some uncomfortable things like stereotypes, racial stereotypes, ethnic stereotypes. And it's part of this is just accepting that those were 20th century mores and they're antediluvian to this point in history in the 21st century. And that it's hard to say this and not sound stupid, but well, being Irish, I know that I possess and I have a bounty of stereotypes that are used to identify me, through culturally and using generalities. And so knowing this, that it's not hard for me to read old stuff because stereotypes were there for a reason. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have this interconnected generations of interconnectivity and knowledge and first-hand knowledge of other people's cultures. And so basically before the information age, people put a lot of faith into stereotypes, neither good nor bad. They just existed to help inform the uninformed. And then it's your pleasure to find out that most of these stereotypes are always full of crap. Well, that's all I got to say for today. Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of material. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. Let's continue the conversation in the comments. This wonderful, convo about comic books. And someday I would like to earn your subscription. I make daily content, and as you can tell, we're going to be talking about comic books for the rest of the year. So tune in. Tune in tomorrow, 3 o'clock. I'll be here. Will you? Give me a chance. You're going to have fun too. Well, thank you so very much. Have a great day. Good to see you, and thank you so much for tuning in. Cheers.